here's hoping, cross fingers, that the jam turns out jammy. Woo! We're gonna make some jam. That's a lot of pectin, damn. That's a lot of pectin. Okay, no, but seriously, it's jam making time. Let me open this pectin. We're gonna do some stuff by weight. All right, here's hoping, cross fingers, that the jam turns out jammy. Okay, maybe I should have kneesed before starting. All right, found the, I scrubbed through the internet, found the most relevant recipe for me. I have now kneesed it, cause like any good chef, I want to make sure that I only do this once. I do need to still pull all of the jars out, sterilize them, and do all of those things. So I'm going to do that separately off camera in my Instapot. But to get this beautifulness going, I will link the recipe that I used for this specifically on in the description bar, in the description box down below. So if you want to make blackberry jam, I highly encourage you to do so. Okay, so I have 7 containers of 7, let me rephrase. I have 7 6-ounce containers of blackberries here. This is gonna roughly make about 8 8-ounce jars, which for like my first go at jam making and knowing like I'm the person that in this household that eats jam, that's enough for me, and then for me to gift some. And then 7 cups of granulated sugar right in. That is a lot of sugar. I have a half teaspoon of butter, which is 2.35 grams. Yes, I had to weigh it. And then I have 1.75 ounces of pectin. So the recipe says to add pectin, lemon juice, butter, and blackberries to a stock pot, realizing I didn't actually mise en place my lemon. So let's do that, shall we? So I need 2 tablespoons. It's about for me, it's a juicy 1/2 lemon and a bit. And because I do not want pits, I shall strain you into my pot. All right. All right. Next step, we are going to take a wooden spoon, and we're just gonna move everything around a little bit. Okay, I should have read the recipe thoroughly again and reprocessed that in my brain. It's like, sure needs some liquid. Well, lols. You're supposed to mash the blackberries before putting them in the pot with all the sugar. That's okay. I'm sure this isn't gonna harm anything. I'm sure this will be fine. I'm sure this isn't going to make things worse, she says with lack of confidence. I'm glad that we have the close-up camera on the pot here, capturing all of my ish in my jam. Okay, I honestly don't want this to be very like jelly-like, so I want it to be more of like a preserved texture anyway. And this will continue to break down as it cooks, because that's what a long cook will do to this anyway. Oh! I did this all. I messed this up. I've already messed this up. All right, epic fail. I wasn't supposed to put the sugar in yet. It was only supposed to be the pectin, the lemon juice, the blackberries, and the butter. Stir with a wooden spoon. Once boiling, add sugar, return to rolling boil. Then boil for 1 minute while stirring constantly. After 1 minute, remove the foam and from the top of the jam. Skim it, and then one by one remove a jar. Okay. When you botch it, you botch it. I swear I am a food professional. I swear I do this stuff for a living, and by for a living I work in the food industry. Oh, that's the butter. It's like, why are there white specks in here? Okay. Well, she says, with lack of confidence, but slowly regaining confidence. Let's just see how this goes. I feel like a proper, I don't know, something. Okay, I have looked up more information. On my botching of the jam here, humans. And I have a plate in the freezer for cold plate test, imminent cold plate testing. I have also figured out how to sterilize my jam jars in my instant pot. And now I am skimming the foam off this jam. It's cool because you know what? I always mess up a recipe the first time I do it. And I don't always follow things the way that one should. And you know, like, we're learning a new skill today. I have never canned anything in my life. So this is me learning a new skill, and you know, if this batch of jam is great, it's great. And if it sucks, it sucks. But will I gift it? No, I won't. So I will definitely try my jam before I give it away, even though I know like the people who would get it would be like, oh no, it's still delicious. They'd be very kind. All right, so the jam is jamming. It's still very like loose. It doesn't feel very thick. I mean, it's not very thick. It has a very, you see that? It has a very loose consistency, like back of a spoon consistency. Oh, but she's good. Okay. Did I get that on me? No. Sweet. Tart gets sweet. I would, if I do this again next year, I definitely would do a little less sugar because these berries were pretty sweet. So, all right, I'm gonna finish cleaning up and then I'll check in with you when it is time to jar this girl up. I need to wait for my plate to freeze so I can do a proper cold plate test because the internet humans said to do a cold plate test. That'll determine whether or not your jam is set. And so I'm going to do that. So I don't make so my jam is the right like consistency. So, all right, I'll check in with you guys in a bit. All right, folks, we're here, we're ready. It's clean plate test time. I present to you a frozen clean plate. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of this stuff right here and we're gonna just dab it on here. Like so. And apparently if you're able to push it around as like one continuous blob, then it's ready. She is not one continuous blob. She is not one continuous blob. She ain't ready. Jam's good though. need to move this potentially to a lower burner. Okay, let me try this one more time because I have a tendency to do these things wrong. I mean, that is the theme of this experience thus far. There's a second club. I'm gonna give it a second. Keep her going, and then we'll try again in a little bit. I'm gonna set a timer for 20 minutes and we'll go again. All right, I just did the clean plate test off camera thinking it wasn't going to work, and it did. So let's can our jam. No, that didn't rhyme. Okay. So I've sterilized my jars off camera. And this is gonna be a bit of a faff because I need to like label this and everything. And I'm doing it kind of in batches. So hold please, I'll be back. So I need to do this in a couple of stages because the pot I have to actually do like the sealing process is the same pot I'm using to actually do the canning. So, or like to do the jam making, excuse me. So this is the spoon, the jam into the jar with a canning funnel, part of our programming. I will say that this is a lot like looser. I know that it'll like set and it won't be this loose eventually. This is a lot looser than I was anticipating. I was expecting it to be like a much thicker consistency. Everyone says leave a 1/4 of an inch on the top for headspace. So I'm gonna plan to do that. I think I'm gonna do just a little bit more. There we go. And then on to the next one. Well, I'm gonna set myself up on a little assembly line here. Assembly line, that's what we're calling this. I also am like, oh, sugar, is this gonna be too much jam for the amount of jars that I have sterilized? I have 12 jars, by the way, and the recipe said it does enough jam for 9 jars. I believe I said 8 earlier in this video, but I read the recipe again in my panic. All the panicking. Okay, that's good. That it's actually 9 jars. All right, so we're gonna speed through this, and by speed through it, I mean we're gonna do a time lapse of me filling jars. I am in a funny mood. Let me tell you, people. I am in a funny bunny mood today. I feel like all my eccentricities are coming out right now, you know? Awesome. All right. The jam jars are full. I'm going to clean this pot, and then I am going to I'm going to clean this pot, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my stationery set for the next thing. I do still need to do the bubble thing. to remove all the bubbles and put the seals and everything on this, but I kind of want to do one step at a time. So how is my pot not as hot as those jars? So I'm just adding the lids now to the seals, I guess that's what they're called. I'm adding the seals to the tops of the jars here. And then I need to do the rings. And then we're almost there. And then I just have to boil these for 15 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes or something. So, how do people, okay, now I'm asking like a really stupid question. But like, how do people even figure out this process? Like, figure out that this is what you need to do to preserve things. Like, how far back does that go? Okay, so in terms of like ring to seal, you want to put the lid on so it's a tight seal, but it's not like overly tight, and that'll allow things to expand and contract in the boiling process. So I'm making sure that it's like the ring is mostly like hand tightened, like it's tight but not like, oh, I'm gonna have an issue getting it off. So yeah, I actually have to say, like, for like a slow living kind of activity or like romanticize your life type situation, like this actually has been like such a wonderful like cooking experience. It's been very hands off. This has encouraged me to definitely try and make chutney, sweet, savory, you name it, what have you, because I've really enjoyed myself. I've had a lot of fun. All right, so these guys are all ready to roll. I'm going to clean my pot, get it back on the stove, make sure I have a rack in the pot, so I also have an oval pot. Shoot. Oh, biscuits. I have an oval pot. This is me also under the realization that, yeah, you do have a 20-quart stock pot. It's above your refrigerator. It's from when your husband made cioppino, and albeit the cioppino was delicious, it was. He also vowed at the same time to never make it again because it was very labor intensive. Nah! So, we are going to place each jar into, oh, okay, this might work, into the pot, into the butts. I can actually comfortably fit about 5, so we'll do this in 2 batches. And I'm going to dump the rest of this water from my Instant Pot in. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm adding, what is this? 4 liters or 10 cups thereabouts into here as an initial, let's try not to get water all over the stove. I mean, riveting content here, right? Maybe I should have added the water in first and done the jar second. So, this is 12 cups. All right, just learned something. Okay. Whew, hot. We shall bring this to a boil. And then once it is at a boil, we will boil for 15 minutes, and then we will remove them from the stove and cool them down. Fastest way to a boil, lid on. All right, I will circle back with you in a little bit. It's a good thing this is just water and I don't feel so bad about cleaning my stove now over the weekend and then getting schmutz all over it. They're literally popping. Listen. Listen. Alrighty, last batch, just timered off. We're going to remove these guys from the Dutch oven here. And we're gonna go ahead and get them to cool. I'm gonna leave this running because I don't think I heard it. I don't think I got caught on camera, but I will say, at least on the first batch, I did this right. And wanna know why I know that? It's because the little lids popped. Let me tell you, that in and of itself felt like such a win. I was like, yes, these lids popped. Yes, I created the right seal. Yes, I'm not gonna give anyone botulism. So I'm very, 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 very excited for this. This means I can enact step number 2 in my evil plan. And I think I am going to get all the stuff to make a zucchini and tomato chutney and then do that. I'm so stoked, like, yay, yes. So I'm gonna allow these to cool. I'm gonna let this run so you can hear the pops because that is very important for me. I need that validation. And it is now past 5. I am going to have an Indian takeaway for dinner and I will make muffins another day. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe on Wednesday. Who knows? But it's not gonna be today. Yeah. All right. Yay!